And now, it's time! Because it's not the Katzinjamma Show. Brought to you by J Stone, Grindstone Records, at rockmetaltalk.com. The Cars, baby. All right, glad you guys are tuning in to another episode. I hope everybody's been having a good week so far. We're going to listen to, and sorry I wasn't able to pause that in time, but you know how it is, you try to time it just right. And I don't pre-program, I just do these shows right off the cuff. It's live when I do it, and I just do it as I do it. So this is the Cars we're going to listen to today while we chat about the endeavors of our planet. This album is called Shake It Up. And the reason why I wanted to play this particular album is, even though I was kind of still having it rough as a kid, when this album came out, even though I was still constantly, under the rule of the stepmother, I still had the worst of my endeavors behind me, so to speak, as far as what I had to deal with, fear and all that. And now I was at a time where it was just like I kind of started understanding. I was 14 years old. This album came out in 81, yeah, so I'd be around 14 years old. And this was like one of those albums that I would listen to while I was suffering through my allergies, and my stepmother would make me, do the lawn care as my buddy Ricky and all them were right across the street playing baseball, and I'm sitting there doing what I need to do with, snot and everything coming out of my face and stuff. But it was kind of like the beginning of me kind of acknowledging that, I did have a good head on my shoulder. I might not have been like the book smart of people, and I still don't think that I am, but I would think that this is kind of the time that really kind of molded me. And this album always kind of sticks out because it gets me jazzed. It makes me feel, a little comfortable, because I'm going to be talking about some things that are kind of uncomfortable today. And I'm bringing this up to you, and I want you to hear what I'm saying right now and take this very, very seriously. I go through a lot of due diligence, and I check a lot of resources, and then I use a lot of my common sense. And a lot of things that I've said on my shows, and this is throughout when I did the vinyl show and Welcome to the Revolution show, and now just calling it, the plain itSnot the Katzinjamma show just as it is, and I'll just spit it out as I see it. I had mentioned to you a couple of times about false flags, that a lot of the things that have been going on in our country, even over the last 25, 30 years, really does kind of ring this out. We can even just start with, the 9/11. A lot of people think that, these individuals, these terrorists did it, but America kind of knew about it and just really didn't know about it. And then when you see, video clips of the towers coming down, you got to go by, again, words are words, but actions speak louder than words. And when you see these towers come down, the planes crashed in them, but what really triggered the towers from coming down, and you gotta read between the lines. It's kind of the same thing when you're looking at stock picks. You gotta look between the lines. One of my biggest things, as I've mentioned to you when I would speak to clients about buying stock, is when you see insiders doing certain things, buying stock, selling stock, and then you see little blurbs of information hit newspapers. As we know, a lot of that's fabricated, but sometimes little tidbits of truth are mixed in with a lot of fabrication. And so when you see these towers going down and you see slow motions of explosions on these floors of areas that weren't even afflicted by the plane crash, and you see explosion and a floor come down, explosion and then the floor come down, explosion and the floor come down, you have to put two and two together. Some kind of conspiracy thing is going on. And the globalists, which we kind of like to, utilize as the deep state, and, how that the CIA kind of runs this country, and the Federal Reserve is not owned by us, our dollar is not backed by gold like it used to be, and things of that nature. When things were a little bit more realistic and a little bit more innocent and a little bit more truer to the Constitution, the false flag, as you know, is a stand down. False flag is a stand down. And a lot of the recent events that's going on, like this little Syria attack, this is kind of like a false flag. Now, Trump kind of knows about this, and why you didn't see him go all full boat as you see the media try to push, or why didn't he go in there and do weeks and weeks and weeks of bombardment, just annihilate the whole thing, because he doesn't want to start a world war. As many of you think that he does, that is not the case. Trump is a patriot. Trump is about our country and our freedom and our rights and things of that nature. And even though I might be upset that he's not saying anything about the intrusion on our Second Amendment, which will take away all you little libtards and all you little snowflakes' rights to say all the little hatreds, as Jim Morrison would say, that you like to spew, there's a conspiracy concept, and I kind of believe this, and the common sense thread tells me that this does make a lot of sense, that when you see that there are patriots that are inside our CIA and inside the deep state that are, they don't want their children to suffer. They don't want their families to go in. And granted, even though they may not be doing totally the right thing, but there are patriots on the inside, on the bad side, as well as there's bad people infiltrated on the good side, right? And so, we had people going over to North Korea and telling that little rocket man, listen, you need to roll over. Otherwise, here's what's going to happen. EMPs are going to get detonated over New York, Los Angeles, London, and other countries, and it's going to be blamed on you guys. And then you guys are going to go into war with China, and then we're just going to have a whole-out nuclear situation, and you think it's bad now, we're just going to blow up everything. And then the globalists, what they're going to do is they're going to infiltrate that idea and try to convince all of you, the stupid people, that we need to have a new world order government concept. And we cannot have that happen. We cannot let that happen. And I'm going to start the show after this next song about tapping into a lot of these mass shootings. And we're going to prove a couple of points again, because I like to utilize this as the good sounding board, and how all of you people are getting manipulated.
Shake it up.